apologies in advance for any audio desync. It happens sometimes, I don't know why.
You, listen. I know you can hear me down there. She's lying to you. She's a liar. You're not where they say you are. They'll leave you alone to die in the dark.
Yeah, it's starting to get interesting. And not just because this is dark, with moving lights. Yeah, that seems to be how this will appear to work. Dark room with lights, including the elements that can be manipulated. You think it's going to be that simple? Think again. Because there's also light switches. Yeah. They're visible only when lit. They're still there, though. Although if you want to see them, you're going to have to light them.
I hope you can hear me. The lights on the outside of the cube have gone dark. Mission Control think that's good. They say you must have hit it somewhere that hurts. So keep doing what you're doing. I know it's tough being alone out there. I've been alone here on the International Space Station for over a month. Going round and round and round the Earth. And after a while, it messes with your head. The truth is, if you leave a person alone in the dark long enough, they'll lose themselves. Damn. I'm orbiting out of range. Keep going. I'll be back soon.
I'm amazed that... Oh yeah, and you know what that other button does? It resets everything. I'm amazed that they didn't do this with the release version. Perhaps they didn't think that it would take off. Well, they have a point there. It probably won't be like Portal. But it'll probably sell enough. Yeah, it even rotates around. Which complicates matters. It'll be more difficult to know where everything is. Although, not that much. I mean, even Valve understood the importance of having at least some plots inside the game itself, rather than having it explained to you, like... well, explained to you either in text in between some missions, in the manual itself, or perhaps a written message before you go somewhere. Inside the game itself. Not a lot is done to explain what is going on. Which is why with the classic Doom games, I decided to make up a lot of the plot as I went along. Which is why I made the Doom guy, as some would call him, as a psychotic British blood knight. And for those who don't know what a blood knight is, well, they're those who consider a battlefield which for some would be, well, rather traumatizing, to put it mildly, is their idea of a good night out. Who, well, there's that line about loving napalm in that Vietnam War movie. Oh, look it up, it's in Apocalypse Now. Yeah, and everything's now lit up. Which means I'm more or less past this bit. Yeah.
I don't have much power left. I've been listening from inside my box. They say you're out in space. You're not. You're underground. They've buried you alive down there so they could test you. They're going to test you and test you until you rot into dust. And they do something to your memory. They did it to mine. They don't want you to remember who you are, because if you don't know what's happening, you'll have faith that it will end. You'll have faith that someone will let you out of the dark, but they won't. You have to rip that faith out of your skull and replace it with truth, or you'll die down there.
This is something else I don't remember from the original. Either that or I wasn't looking hard enough. Let's see where this leads. I'm guessing this must be something to test the ball rolling physics. Speaking of ball rolling, yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to roll the ball using this giant tabletop ball game rather ball maze. Whatever you want to call it, I need to get the ball into that green bit over there. Yeah, I need to tilt it so that it goes down there. Yeah, that bouncy bit, that blue jump pad, that's for towards the end, not something you need to worry about now. This could be a problem. I need to find a way of getting it down there. So it is at an angle. No, I don't want it to go back. I want it to go forward. And forward being somewhere that solves this puzzle. Although technically I'd have to do this. I want to. Yeah, and this time there's two people speaking. And it's up to the player to find out which one is telling the truth and which one is lying. No, what I'm going to do with the one who is lying is not possible in this game, as this is a first-person puzzle game, not a first-person shooter, where the general solution to your problems there is get the big shooty thing in your arms and use it. This is the kind of game where you navigate through puzzles by thinking of a solution. Shocking concept, I know, but its concept worked. Portal is proof to that. In fact, basically started the whole first-person puzzle game genre. I mean, if it weren't for that game, I don't think it really would have taken off that genre, wouldn't it? Or it would have been a while until something would have caused it to take off. Much like with Thief and the first-person stealth game genre. Or you could call it a subgenre. Well, basic premise of that is you sneak around in a first-person perspective, going around places and stealing things, preferably without getting caught or directly confronting those that want you dead. In fact, there are some who would prefer to play that game without using any violence at all, lethal or non-lethal. Yeah, and now we're introduced to magnetism. where the basic premise of this room is to get the green cube to intersect with the beam of light, which opens the door as this is triggered by the green light. And then I can get out of the room once I, well, can get up there. It stays open whether I keep the light on or not. It's only needed to open it. It is not closed when the circuit is broken. Yes, I need the green cube. And now I need this green cube to go up. Well, it probably would be better if I went up with it. Yeah, this is a problem. I need to get the cube over there, but there's no magnetism panel that goes up. I'll need to use the red elements to move it there. Although I will need to be up there when it happens. Or I could just stand on the cube and let it rise and hop over there. It's not as if I'm going to be needing to keep it there. I think I've already mentioned what I need to do, so I'll stay quiet until I'm done.
crossed you can hear me again. I have good news. Actually, 2 pieces of good news. We've started to see a definite effect on the cube itself. Parts of the outer layer seem to be coming apart. Whatever you're doing in there is working great. Second piece of good news. Mission Control say you're almost close enough for them to contact you directly. So we're going to organize a link up to your wife. She is dying to talk to you. Just keep going, and we'll make it happen. I'm orbiting out of range again, so good luck. And be careful.
Yeah. Although, it starts to question how honest you're being with me. Because it's a bit too convenient, isn't it? How I have a life support suit that conveniently, well, allows me to interact with all the elements here. More is happening here than it appears to, doesn't it? Yeah. One of the main problems is getting the timing right. Not just getting the audio to resync manually. I've been receiving 1 or 2 comments about that. Yeah, in the end I thought, that's it, I'm gonna have to resync it myself. It's not entirely successful, but it's better than just leaving it as it is. Yeah, a good thing that these cubes aren't red. Otherwise they'd probably go faster than I can handle. Yeah, and now we have a problem. How to get up there? In theory, it's perfectly simple. Make these cubes stack onto each other. And then ride it up here to where the door is. Well, ride it up there if I can get it in the right position. Much better. Now it's getting more complex. You know what? I'm surprised no one's adapted the Q.U.B.E movies into a game. I think that would be genuinely interesting to play through. I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar, Q.U.B.E is basically a science fiction horror movie where a group of people get trapped in some kind of some kind of facility. Yeah. Get the words out of my head. Sorry. It involves a group of people trapped in a facility, which is a series of cube-shaped rooms that move around. How hard can this be? Harder than you think, because part of the danger is, well, these rooms move around, and some of them are death traps. Some are triggered by one thing, others are triggered by the other. There is a way of telling whether there's danger in a room, but you have to be pretty intelligent to figure that out. Because if you get it wrong, you're gonna die. Although the second movie it wasn't as good as the first. They really are. The third one was a prequel explaining what the purpose of this facility is. And it's not pretty. I can't say any more than that. Because it would involve me spoiling more than I already have. Yeah. I think I know what I need to do here. I need to get both the cubes rising. And then quickly... No, rising when they're on the ground. Then quickly switch it to facing one of the walls. And then go through that door. In principle, it's simple. In practice, this is far from simple. Yeah, I can tell I'm irritating to you right now, so I'll keep quiet until this is done. I mean, it must have been a blessed relief for some of you when I did one of these videos and didn't add any voice acting. I mean, I bet some of you were screaming at their screen saying, "Please, no more voicing the characters in Undertale!" As if it was one of the most torturing things you can imagine. Well, I'm not torturing on purpose. Yeah. I'm not someone with a way of words, so... it's done. Sorry for blabbering on like that.
I haven't got much power left, so open your ears. Doubt is like a tiny plant, trying to push its way towards the light. But as soon as she sees it poking out of the dirt, she pours on more soothing words to kill it. You're making the cube fall apart. You're going to get to talk to your wife. You're going to get out. You're gonna go home. You're going to save the whole Earth. That's her poison. And you're drinking it. If you want it to stop, you have to stop it.
Until I can figure out who is telling the truth and who deserves to have a spike up the rear, I'll keep going through these puzzles until those of you who have watched the original version of this will know what's coming. Although I don't remember this bit. Definitely don't remember this bit.
I have faith you can hear me. It's going crazy out there. The outside of the cube is coming away in big chunks. It's incredible. You're doing really, really great. No word on talking to your wife yet, but it'll happen very soon. Don't worry. Other than that, no news at my end. But I figure talking to you is therapeutic. Especially for me, actually. What I said before, about how being alone out here can mess with you. It's messed with me too. I can't talk to Mission Control about it, or they'd cut me short. I figure, with your radio out, you can keep a secret. "15 days ago, I was on a spacewalk on the outside of the station. I was replacing one of the old communication antennas. The sun was disappearing over the western edge of the Earth behind me. And it gets so quiet out there, so dark. Sometimes you can't be sure you're there at all. I finish the job, I start to move away, and I hear this voice. Only it's my voice, not in my mouth, not in my head, but outside, next to my ear. It's the only way I can explain it. And the voice, it said, God is dead. And it scared the hell out of me. I grabbed my tether and pulled myself back into the airlock and shut the door. I know it's just my brain keeping itself busy, and that's why we do isolation tests before we go out, but Christ. I'm orbiting out of range. I'm sorry. Keep going. Please keep going.
Yeah, they're getting longer, and I don't think they'll get shorter from here.